Hello and welcome to the next episode of my advanced blueprint tutorials. Today we will be focusing on adding new animations to the already downloaded project. Okay, let's take a look at what we got right now. And right now we'll be testing everything in multiplayer. For some reason we are doing strafe walking by default. We still got ragdoll that is utterly broken when it comes down to multiplayer. And we got on landing this roll forwards. Doesn't matter where we are aiming or what's our direction, we're always rolling forward on landing. Okay, so let's clean a few things up. Let's get here. I haven't changed anything yet. Okay, so first of all, oh yeah, I have changed one thing. Next, we're not toggling ragdoll, we will just disable ragdoll. That's all we're doing. If we trigger ragdoll by any mean, we just want to disable it. Then we'll use Q to do something else. So we're no longer going to set up this motion here. On E, we are doing a dash montage, that's fine. We will be using this event and this setup in this tutorial. And on walk of ledge, we're definitely not ragdolling. It is not subject of this tutorial. Okay, let's go to the new stuff. We have begin play. And this doesn't trigger on multiplayer. It's setting our rotation type through our animation master component to turn to velocity and our aim offset to from ignore, which is default, to aim offset look at. So all we need to do here is just add a small delay. 0.2 should be enough. Let's see. And here we'll set 1. That also should be enough. Let's see. Okay, yeah. We are now running in circles, looking as we should. We no longer ragdoll, but we still do the roll. That's fine. Okay, and the AI actually still need a bigger delay. So let's leave the 2.2 as it was, and they should be focusing one of the players just for debugging view. Yeah, they are looking at him. So, okay, that's our starting point. So now we don't have any strafe walking animations and we are using just the forward velocity for our movement. So let's do something about it. Let's add anim starter pack animations. So when you just add this from the store directly, you will have 2 blend spaces. Let's take a look inside them. Okay, they are set up as directional blend spaces. Okay, there's something I don't understand why. Okay, jog left, rifle. Oh my god, okay, the blend is terrible on those. But they will work. And we have the mannequin that all those animations are part of, and we also have a blueprint and a character. So if we go into word settings and we change third person character here to this UE4 ASP character, and we just in case we run it offline and we play, we get this guy. Okay, and this guy is a bit awkward, but he has some strafing animations and he's shaking like crazy, and those animations got slight problems, but nothing we cannot solve. So there are a few things we can do about it. Let's change back to our character. Okay, now first of all we need to retarget all of those animations, and we're gonna do the same trick we done last time. So we go to mesh and we'll delete the skeleton completely, and he's picking all the references that are using, including the animBP, the mesh itself, and the pound, everything. We'll look for this one and replace all references. Yes. Yes, save everything. Goodbye. We will fix up redirection, and this will actually save all the animations with the new skeleton, and they will be retargeted. Okay, we'll look inside the anim graph we have here, and now this anim graph is parallel to our anim graph. We got locomotion here, so we got just speed, direction, enable jump, jumping. How is this working? Cast to character, enable jump, okay. Anim notification jump. What? Okay. And crouching. Okay, and that's it. So what we'll do, we'll get here to event graph and we'll delete everything. Just like that. And we'll not do anything about the anim graph itself. We'll not do anything about this. And we will actually just add input pose. Or you know what, we actually don't need input pose for it to work. And save it, and that's it. We deleted everything. Oh no, one more thing. We'll make every variable public. Yeah, now compile, save, close. Okay, so this is now our child. We'll go back to AGR animation system, go to data, go to tags, and we'll look for base, and we'll add a new by duplicate, and it will go animation base. What's the package called? Anim starter pack. Okay, so let's save it. Let's call it anim starter pack. Okay, we got our tag. We can always check in project settings, go to gameplay tags, and we have our table declared here, so everything is fine. We save, and now we go to our main blueprint, the core, and here in the base, from the conduit we need to make a new state, which is called anim starter pack. And we're just gonna copy this, change this from third person to anim starter pack. We're gonna copy this, go back, not boolean, so this will go back. And what's the blend time on those? 0.2. Oh, okay, that's actually going through the conduit, and here is 0.2 Hermit cubic. Okay, dobra. Okay, yeah. Compile, save. And here in the state, we're gonna go with linked anim graph, and we'll pick this one, and we'll expose everything, and we'll take the velocity, we'll take the direction, we'll take the is falling for jumping, is crouching for crouching, and enable jump. Enable jump, let's just have it true no matter what, and that's it. And that's it. That's everything for our character. So let's run again with our third-person character. Bam, bam. Okay. And let's say that now the third-person character, we go to tutorial 2. We'll copy from here Q that we wanted, and we'll take our animation master component, set up event set base pose. Okay, and on base pose we are changing the tag to animation starter pack, or we can actually get base pose tag, see if it is equal animation starter pack, and on Q now we will toggle, like if it is equal already animation starter pack, so it's true, then we'll hit this event, but we'll set it back to third person. But it is not, then we'll set it back, and we'll set it back to third person. So now we have a toggle that we are not using flip-flop, because when you use flip-flop, it's fine. It will go A, B, A, B, A, B all the time when you trigger it from here. But if you trigger this event from anywhere else, any ability, any other blueprint, any other event, it will not know what was the last state, which is A. So we're doing it like this, and this is a toggle that will always check if we are in this pose. If we are not, then go to it, and if we are in this pose, then go back to default. Okay, save and run and Q. Okay, so can jump have to be false. Enable jump. Okay. Q. And now we are strafe walking. Kind of, because we are still doing the aim offset as look at. So let's change that as well. So if we are setting the anim starter pack, then we'll go from the component and we'll do setup, aim offset. And we'll go from ignore or look at, we go to aim at. And if we go back in the toggle, we will go to look at. And connect this and change pose. Format, okay, yeah. And let's see. Okay. But this isn't triggering for some reason. Let's see why. Oh, okay. One more thing. Setup, turn rotation, and if we are strafe, we want to be strafe walking and aiming and doing this animation starter pack, we'll change rotation type to, for now, let's say, desired rotation at angle. So this is the more advanced one. The rotation speed will set to 280. And we'll do the same here. But we'll set the rotation at 600. And those two are irrelevant. And this will be rotation to movement. Okay. And I will explain in a second again what everything is doing. And add it to the command field. Okay. So when we press Q, we'll check if we are in the anim starter pack pose. If we are not, then we'll turn on the pose, we'll change aim offset to aim, and we'll change the turn type to the Z rotation at angle. Our turn start angle will be, let's say, 75, and the turn tolerance will be just 1, which means that once we hit aim offset horizontally at 75 degrees, we'll start turning in place, and once we turn, once the character turn is 1 degree or less than our aim, he will stop turning. Okay. And look at could be actually even slower. Let's say 4. Okay. Aim offset is clamped at 90, and look at offset will be clamped at 135. So let's see now. Now we are running the strafe walking animations from the original animation blueprint. I know it doesn't look good diagonally, but this is just how the animations are set up, and this is what we have to work with. But it's working. When it comes down to aiming, we are still looking. It's not aiming. Let's see. Okay. Let's make it faster. Okay. Let's see if we do aim at here as well. Let's see how it looks in multiplayer. And let's set it back to look at here. So third person, look at, let's put it back to 6, 135. Turn rotation to movement. Let's make it 90 and 5. And run. Okay, so 2 players, dedicated server, go. Q. Okay, I have horizontal aim offset. Okay, I got vertical aim offset. And, okay, the problem with the animation is the, it's the IK setup. Okay, because the animations in the anim starter pack, they got this terrible problem. Let me show you. Yeah, you see the IK bones? They're not animated in any of the animation. And in our main graph right now, in core, we have this one point, which is very important normally, to do hand IK retarget. And because of that hand IK retarget, it breaks. So let's just go behind it. Don't worry about this node. And now the aim should work perfectly. Okay, I see another problem, which is linked to our you see the lines of our tracing. So we got three lines. The red one is the actual aim of the camera, the green one is the aim of the head, which is being used for the look at aim offset, but the purple one is the aim of the hand of the weapon. So this is being used for aiming of the gun, and it unfortunately breaks because it's getting the position of a bone that it's not moving. So we're going to do a small cheat, and we'll go to animation starter pack, we'll go to the blueprint, and here we'll do some IK. We'll do copy bone, source bone is hand R, and the target bone is IK hand gun, and we'll copy everything basically except for the scale. It's irrelevant for the IK bones, and it's copying in component space. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll do another copy bone, and this copy bone will take source bone as hand L. Oh wait, yeah, it has to be right hand, and this will be left hand, and it will move the IK hand L. Okay, so let's take a look at the skeleton and the IK bones, how they're being set up. So the foot has a separate IK root, and because of this IK root, we can move the root and we can do movement of the IK bones separately of the root of the mesh itself. Yeah, let's get it back. And it's the same for hands. I don't really know why the hands are rooted at the root as well. In my opinion, the best solution would be to have the root of the hands at the head and drive the IK bones from there, because that's usually the perspective of aiming, but whatever makes you happy. And then IK hand gun is the parent of the both hands, and hand R is basically at the same point. Hand L is, like you can see, at a different point, and they are parallel. They are not linked. So when I move IK hand gun, it automatically moves IK hand R, but it doesn't move the IK hand L. So I have to move it again. So that's why we're doing those two, and we are copy rotation and translation. And it is also in component space, and we don't need to even expose that. And that should be it. And now we can go back here and we can start doing the IK again, because the bones should be fixed. Let's see. Okay, so the left hand IK bone is basically levitating because it's ignoring the our IK state, but the right hand is moved correctly, so it's a lot better now. But it's still not ideal. Let's see if we can do something about that. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Aim at look at this is fine. Oh, and let's see one thing. How does third person looks with aiming? I wonder that. Let's play. Okay. Let's take a look at our aim offset. Y times -1. And it's just going for the spine. Okay, yeah. And let's turn this off for a second and let's see. Okay, probably we are losing. Ah, yeah, it's here. Ah. Okay, so because I exported the project in the aim offset animation graph, all the references to all the gameplay tags were cleared to nothing, because before I had the time to go to gameplay tags and add this data table, I tried to compile this graph and it didn't have references to the values. So here should be ignore, and true goes to aim. Yes, so aim at. Okay, so that is fixed. Now we can go back here. This should be fine, and now we should be able to do the IK, and let's see how procedural aiming looks like. And aiming without weapon looks like this, because the hands are moving with the entire body. Okay. Okay, so this is what we are looking for. We can go back to look at. We are, let's make it a bit smaller. 480. Let's just do 80, okay. And this goes back to 6. Okay, so what's happening here is we're taking the animation master component. We are checking if we are in the animation starter pack base pose. If we are, then we are going back to third person animation pack. We're setting look at instead of aiming at. We are clamping the aim at 135. We can actually go as high as 180. And we can even do that for a second just to see how it looks. And we're changing the rotation to orient rotation to velocity. However, if we are not in the animation starter pack animation, we are going to change this tag by event, and this event is just changing the tag locally and then changing it reliable on the server itself, and then it goes reproduced to our client and it changes back to the same value, and that doesn't really mean anything. Now, only important thing is that we are running this event. I am actually reading this value from the event entry, which is well, every event is a function. Like when you go through this trigger line, this is the end of the function and this is the start of the function, and this is a function only argument that can be read multiple times by multiple objects as long as this event doesn't end. Once this ends and we would have another custom event like doing something, and we would like to read this value and do something with it, it would actually read nothing, because this reference is invalid for this function, so for this event. But going back here, we are taking this reference that is being set when we trigger the event, and we are setting this value, and then we're taking this, the same value again. Why we are not doing this? Because once we do this, we are not reading the local version of the variable. We're saying, hey, I need to use this variable right now. Please give me the server version. And we are waiting for it to get the server reference, and then we are sending it. And the reference is actually the last one before setting. So that wouldn't really work well. So we're doing it like this. This works fine. And now let's see if everything works. Multiplayer. Yeah, he's aiming around with his invisible gun. And once I hit Q again, he can look around by 180. Of course, when you hit perfectly 180, it will go between minus 180 and 180 in a loop, and it will look ridiculous. It looks okay as long as it's not perfectly backwards. So that's why you should clamp it at a lower value than that. So let's say 135. That looks really good. Okay, so we just used something we haven't even have to set up. Oh, let's test jumping, by the way, if it will even trigger jumping. Okay, so it's actually overwriting the jumping. It is overwriting the jumping, so it will always work. Doesn't matter if we broke the graph itself when it comes down to jumping. Because in our core setup, we have this blend by movement mode, and we have a movement mode called falling. And on falling, we're always playing third person jump. Let's make a slower play rate, let's say 0.5, that will look better. And we are blending from spine 01, I guess. Oh, come on. Spine 01 with blend depth of 3, let's make it smaller, 2. In mesh space rotation, the saved pose. So whatever pose we get from this state machine, so let's say it's our aiming pose, it will be blended on top of this jumping animation. So it's ignoring the legs from the animation, it's just taking the top of the pose. And it will be valid for everything. So here we got the third person one, and here is the aiming one. And the problem with the aiming one is it's reading our velocity, which is even the z velocity, so its play rate increases up and decreases down. And well, basically increases down as well, because he thinks we are running. So now we will do some changes to this. So first of all, everything in this graph is just one state machine. We really don't like that. Let's take the idle. Let's copy it. Let's go back here. Let's do idle. Save pose. It will be idle pose. And we go back here and we'll plug in idle pose. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Why we done that? Very simple, because here we'll go blend on bool, blend poses by boolean, and if we are jumping, it's true, then just play the cached idle pose, and if we are not, then play the locomotion and do a blend of, let's say, 0.25. Let's look here. Let's change all the blends to inertialization. Can we change multiple at once? Yes, we can. Oh, that's awesome. Initialization, everything. Okay. And we go back here and we could actually change this to inertialization. And before we do any IK, this is very important, we do inertialization. If we do inertialization after IK, it will jiggle, it will break some of the IK effects, and it will try to just don't do it. It's actually even better to have multiple inertialization if you have multiple state machines or multiple blends. Best not if they are in one after another. But in parallel, that's not a problem. It doesn't really take much of the resources. It's not heavy on the performance. It's quite the opposite. It's actually saving the performance on any blends we are doing here. And it is working for this blend as well as this entire state machine. So let's save that, and that should, let's test it locally for now. It will be faster. Play. Q. Okay. We are running, we are aiming, we are aiming. We are jumping, and now we have the idle pose when jumping. Okay. We just landed and yeah, played this. However, whatever animation we are playing, if we are jumping, we are overriding it. So we can do this. We can fix that as well, and we'll go into jumping. And jumping will be overloaded by default slot, which is not default but full body. Okay, just as it should. Let's see now. Yeah, so even when we are playing, even if I jump, it doesn't break the animation we're playing. Okay, so this should work as well. Yeah, okay. So now it's a lot better, but let's say we want to actually aim that gun. We can do it in two ways right now. One, which I usually take because many animations have different needs for different takes on the aim. So for example, one of the animations we'll be talking about, the dynamic sort anim set, it simply has different blend spaces that will be used when you are armed and different blend spaces that are being used when you are unarmed. And you should set up the character differently based on those poses, but when it comes down to animation starter pack, all the locomotion is done like this, and iron sight doesn't have walking at all. So aim space, oh no, it has, wait, yeah, it has standing, reload, left, right, forward, backward. Okay, it does. So let's make an animation blend space for this guy, and we'll call it starter pack aim blend space. Okay, and what we need is the horizontal to be angle, which is minus 180 and 180, or let's call it direction. The vertical axis will be the speed, but we actually got just one speed, so let's do it differently. Let's make a different approach. Let's delete that. Yes, bye bye. Let's make a new one. Animation. Well, let's make blend space 1D. We don't need a different one, and we'll call it starter pack iron sight blend space 1D. Okay, and this only got direction. It doesn't scale at all. It's -80, 180, and it got exactly 4, and iron sight walk forward is at 0, walk backward is here, left is on left, right is on right. Let's see. Okay, so this is our guy. Let's make target weight interpolation 4, and interpolation time of direction is 0, and this is very important. Like, it would look better if it's something like 0.2, 0.1 when it comes down to changing direction, but when we hit the -180 and 180, we would see the same thing that we had with aim offset. So he would constantly change the animation from this to this, which is the same animation, but he will go this way and this way, this way and this way, because he doesn't understand that this is a loop. He understands that those are the edge values of this aim offset, and he would actually restart the pose all the time with this interpolation time. So 0 means that he is jumping directly from this point to another frame to this point and backward, and it doesn't change anything. He's still loading in the memory the same one animation, and it doesn't cost us anything. Okay, so we got this, and now we need to set up a new one. Let's set up a completely new one, so you see how I would approach that. Okay, let's make a new animation blueprint, and parent class we don't pick anything, so it's anim instance by default. We are picking our mannequin guy, which is at game mannequin characters mesh. Okay, and we'll call it starter iron sight underscore animBP. Okay, let's get in here. Event graph, nothing. Anim graph, okay. Here we'll start doing stuff. So let's make a state machine, and this will be standing. And once we finish it, we'll copy it and make crouch. So we already know we have to blend by boolean, and we'll blend by standing. And if it's true, then we're standing. Blend time will be 0.25. And this is a standard linear blend. We're not doing anything special about that. We'll take the previous blueprint. By the way, save everything. We'll copy this because we need it. We'll put it here to fix our broken IK bones. Okay, and here we will have a state which is idle, but once again we don't want idle to be just in this state, so we'll do play idle iron sight. There is something like that. Idle iron sight, yes. Save pose and call it idle saved pose. Go back here. Idle saved pose. Okay, thank you. And from idle we'll go to state, which is moving, and we go to moving when we are is idle not boolean, so we are not idle, we are moving. If we are idle, we are not moving. It's as simple as that. Both of those are inertialization. In the moving, we have the blend space starter pack, iron side blend space 1D. The direction need to be a variable, which is direction. And we also going to change play rate, expose that, promote to variable, call it velocity, and velocity has to be countered by the speed of the animation itself. I don't know what's the speed of the animation. Let's see here. Jog. Let's go here. What's the values? So 270. Okay, let's say to 270. 270. Let's see how it looks. So when our velocity is 270, this will have a play rate of 1. If it is anything below, it will scale down automatically. Okay, save. And that's it. We're not doing anything else. However, now we need inertialization, because we're using inertialization as blend mode. And false will have just crouch, iron sight, idle for now. That's it. We're not doing anything else, but we don't want this warning. Okay, save. And now we'll go here, data, anim set, and we'll go to base pose, and we'll go to the one we added just now, so anim started pack, and we'll duplicate, and we'll call this pose base, starter iron sight. Okay. So that's it. That's the entire setup that we are doing for this, for now at least, for this moment. Oh, and we'll do one more. Is in air, true, idle, iron sight, idle, save, pose. Yes, so this is the true, and false is this. Okay, format, beautiful. Compile and save. 01, no, let's make it 025, 025. And I think that's it. Okay, now we go to our third-person character, and we'll do something on the right click. On the mouse right click, and we're, I think, not doing anything on right click right now. No, we're not. So let's go to tutorial 2. Mouse right button. Okay, so I will do a lot of stuff. We'll go with event set base pose, and we'll go with starter iron sight when it is pressed, but under the circumstances of get pose, that this pose tag is equal our animation starter pack. So when we press it, if we are in our aiming mode, so our locomotion after hitting Q, once we press the mouse button, we'll go into iron sight pose, and on release, if this tag is equal our iron sight, and only after that, if it's true, we will set base pose back to animStarter pack. So if it's false, we're not doing anything. So this will trigger and change pose from animation starter pack to iron sight if we are in the animation starter pack, and this will go back. And target here and comment, aim at right click. Okay, format graph, save. And let's see, it should work. So if I hit right mouse button, nothing's happening. If I hit Q, I'm changing the pose, and we're in that pose, we are strafe walking. And now when I hit right mouse button, nothing happens yet. Okay, we need to go to our core anim set. Obviously, we forgot about that. We go here, and we just copy that, rename it, started pack, iron sight. We make here, and we do it the other way as not. Okay, compile, save, and those are all blends 0, 2. Yeah, those are somehow connected, so we put them together, and that's it. Let's see now. Right mouse button, nothing. Q, right mouse button, still nothing. Let's see. Bam, 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 bam. Iron sight, iron sight. This is the S. Moving. Oh, okay. Obviously. Starter pack. We just copied everything. So if we copied everything, then obviously we copied also the graph. We forgot to change it. Starter iron sight. Expose all. Let's make sure that they are instance editable, so they can be different per instance. Yeah, let's save that. Okay, and is crouching not, so standing. Is idle. Velocity is velocity, direction is direction, is falling is in air. Okay, that's it. Save. And test again. Q. And right mouse button, let go, and it doesn't change anything. We are also moving extremely fast, but there is no foot sliding because we set the animation to match the speed perfectly. However, our right mouse button doesn't work. Let's see why. On released, if we are started iron sight, if it's true, then we go back to anim starter. That should work. That's strange. Let's go here and see if it's working. Yeah. So it is working with this pose, but it's not working with this pose. Base starter, iron sight. So this is okay. This is definitely okay. Let's look here again. So this blend. Okay. Starter, iron side yes. It should be starter iron side not. Okay, so it wasn't blending out properly. Q. Yeah, okay, now it's working. And we can see that actually the aim offset is slightly adjusting as the pink purple line is moving with the weapon. We're actually aiming where we are looking with the camera. Pretty much. It just requires small adjustments when you're cheating with the aim. But the locomotion looks pretty good. Except of the play rate. So what we can also do here is, for example, when we are changing those locomotion times, we go to our component. Or you know what, we're going to character movement directly. Set walk speed. What is our walk speed? Okay, so it's 600, and the animation we are using here in the blend space, original blend space, is probably not scaling. Yeah, it's not scaling, so it should scale on the y-axis. Okay, let's see now. It looks ridiculous. So let's leave it as it was. I mean, the general setup of this is what it is. I don't even understand why we are playing the same animation at speed of 0 to 270. Oh, we're actually playing left. Okay, I don't understand that at all. All we need to focus at is our what we are doing customly. So this pose, the pose with this pose, the iron side pose. So we know that our speed that we target is 280 to have no foot sliding, and the animation matches the movement. And once we go back, we set back to 600 that it was. Okay. And let's see now. So we're strafe walking. Now we are strafe walking with aiming, and we hit right mouse button. We start walking slower, and now the animations match our velocity. If we move faster, like you've seen, the animations will just speed up, and they work perfectly well in air, and we can still do the roll, which is cool. And we can aim. And we can always read this value that we are using right now. So we can always read what is our base pose. And if the base pose is, let's say, not iron side, we might disable the shooting event for the character and not enable shooting. So we set it up like this, and all we actually did is this. And on the event graph, we're doing absolutely nothing. We're just exposing everything. And this is the entire setup. Okay. What else we can do with here? We got Mocap Basic. Okay, let's do something cool with that. Do data, base, duplicate, make it Mocap Basic. Yeah. Okay. And let's see what we can do with the Mocap Basic. We do the same thing as usual, so delete this guy. That's a lot of animations, that's awesome. And yeah, that's the last one we have. Replace. Yes. Yes, save everything. Fix up redirections. That will save all the animations again. Oh, and by the way, we haven't done anything to networking here, so let's see if this entire thing works with networking. Well, let's set it to 2, dedicated server, play, and let's go straight to this window. So Q, aim offset, that is horizontal and vertical, it works. It replicates pretty well. Sub guy. Okay, and iron sight, yeah, it still replicates, it still works, and I am aiming at his head like I should. And jumping works, and jumping tumble should work as well. Yeah, so everything works. I hit Q again, and we are back at our default locomotion. So everything works in multiplayer. Let's go back here. We don't really care about the rest of that. We just needed to, well, we could delete the entire folder, but who cares at this point. And we go to, let's see what we got here. So we got different walks. All have IK bones set up properly. Thanks very much, Mocap Online. Okay, this is funny. Okay. Okay, so 5 walking loops. They could be amazing additive animations. Let's go into Mobility Pro in place. Jack forward in place. Okay. Run. Okay, nice. There's a walk as well. Yes. Okay. Okay, let's go with this. So let's make animation. Let's place 1D. Last mannequin skeleton. Let's call it Mocap Basic Walking. Let's base 1D. Okay. And it will go like this. Walk. But this is root motion. We need okay, just a second. Let's put it like this. Let's take walk and try to drop it. Yeah, I can do it. Okay, that's cool. So walk will be at the start. Now I need jog, which is second state, and run, and that's it. I can put this here, and this is like this. We don't need 4, we need actually 2, and we need to snap this here, and this is F velocity, so forward velocity only. Walking is probably, this will be probably 600, so running, jogging, this walking will be probably something around 80, maybe 110. Let's see. Scale animation, obviously, blend target 4, and this is everything we're doing for this. And we can go anywhere, animation, blueprint. Again, nothing, which is anim instance, mannequin, yes, and we'll call it Mocap Basic animBP. Okay, let's do the usual idle. Did we do a fixed separate direction? Yeah, yes, we did. Huh. Okay, animations in place, idle. Okay, save pose, idle saved pose, and we will do a state machine. We'll call it standing blend boolean true. Promote variable is standing, and we know we will inertialize that, and here will be just crouch idle. Okay, this is root motion, and this is in place. This one we don't care for crouch for now. 0.25, 0.25. Again, blend by boolean. Promote to variable is in air. Well, okay, let's make a good naming convention, not a terrible one with spaces. If true, then idle save pose. If false, then this. Blend time 0.25, 0.25 linear. And in the state machine, we'll add state idle, and idle is just idle save pose. I hope someone is measuring the time of this entire setup. Add state moving, so is idle, not, so it's not idle, this is idle, both of them, inertialization, and mocap blend space 1D, forward velocity, auto variable f velocity. Okay, expose everything. This is automatically scaling, so we don't need to do a play rate. It will, if we go above 600, it will just scale this animation. If we go between idle and 110, it will scale this animation down. And most walking animations are made in such a way that you always have 1 foot down, which means that if you scale this animation to, let's say, 0.5, it doesn't really look awkward. It looks still fine. If you even drop it lower, you don't need to do any slick IK, it still looks good. You're just walking carefully and slowly. So scaling this, no problem at all, but this character is not strafe walking right now, and yeah, that is fine for us. So do we have everything set up? I think we do. That's the entire graph. Let's make sure. Standing, crouching, standing is in air. Yes, locomotion. This is This is the idle pose. Yes. Yeah, that's it. So now we go again to our main pose, core anim set, and we will go here and we'll make a state which is called Mocap Online Basic. For example, it doesn't really matter. And we will we'll go to any other state, copy this to be faster, paste, and if it is Mocap Basic, then enter. And if it's not, well, if it is not Mocap Basic, then go back. And those are all unarmed animations, and those are armed animations, so we can group them up a bit. Okay, we got this. This is completed. We don't need to do any IK setup for that animation pack because it's working. And we can go now to our character. And now, on false conditions of those branches, we will do this. We'll set up the pose to our new Mocap Basic, and we'll set the walk speed to 600. Or you know what? We'll do it differently. We'll just change this. Our Mocap Basic, we'll set the walk speed to 600. And no. Yeah, we'll do it like it was. Are we actually even gonna go back to this event and we'll change not from third person, but we'll go from this Mocap Basic pose, and we'll not change anything else, so we'll test it on Q. Okay, so this is the default animation pack, this is the aiming, and this is broken. Let's see why. I know why. Let's go back here. We were too fast because we never set up our linked anim graph to be set to Mocap Basic, expose all, make sure, yeah, they are instance editable, and is in R. Idle goes to idle, forward velocity goes here, is crouching not goes to standing, is in air goes to falling. Yeah. Compile, save, and that's it. Okay, Q, and now we are in the Mocap Basic pack, which is a lot better than the third person animation pack. Oh, and the running animations looks really good. I really like that. And our walk animation should be slower if we don't want foot sliding. So let's go to our blend space and let's set up this walking for 80. Okay, play. Let's see now, QQ. Okay, Q, right mouse button, There is some velocity issues. Let's see what it might be. 280 and okay, because we're not setting up on server. Custom event. Velocity change, and it is run on server, and it is having an input of tag, which will be the base pose type of gameplay tag, and based on this tag, if it is equal iron sight, then let's disconnect this. Okay, so if it is iron side, then go to 280. If it's not iron side, go to 600. Okay, however, this will be just not replicated, and there will be a custom event which is called server change velocity, and it will be running on server reliably, and it will also have the base pose tag. And why we are doing it like this, it will just run velocity change. It will just take this tag. Okay, so we'll set velocity change, and we'll set from here server velocity change, and both of those events can go here, and we already got the base pose tag that goes here, and on server we don't need a parameter because we have to do it and check it on the server, so we need our animation component base pose tag and plug it in here, and I will explain in a second why we're doing it like this. Networking. Okay. So what's happening? This is already explained, so we're changing just the pose, and with the pose we want to change the velocity of the character. So the velocity of the character is part of the character movement component, and the variables in the character movement component are actually not replicated. The component itself is replicated in a very slick and 40,000 lines of code way, which makes the correction of the position of the character. So if you change your speed locally and you think that you just speed hacked, it will not work, because the local speed will be non-stop corrected by the server position that doesn't know that you locally change your movement speed. So we are first changing the speed locally for visuals, and then we are notifying the server that we changed the velocity, and the velocity change is not being triggered by a value that we are inputting, so we don't have a say that we are changing to a value of, let's say, 600 or 280, because if we leave this here as a value, as a parameter, someone could actually abuse it and run this event from memory directly on the character and change the velocity. We are also not taking any inputs on the server one, because the owner, so whoever is controlling this character, can always trigger this event. At any point, any hacker can trigger this event. However, he cannot trigger this event on the server. So on the server, we are just running this again. And we've done this as a event and this as a second event, so we don't have to rewrite code. We could as well do this as a function. This could be just a function, and we will be triggering this function here and triggering this function here. But like I said, events are functions. The only difference that they are in the public domain of the character itself, of this actor. So okay, now we should have properly replicating everything. Right mouse button, yeah, we are slowing down. You see no jitter on the character, and it is moving with the correct speed everywhere. Now I want you to notice that we haven't done a multicast of our change of speed, and like I said, the value of speed is local, it is not replicated, except it is kind of, because on a remote client, anyone who is not the owner of a character movement component, the value is always being taken from the server, and the values that are on the character itself are less relevant. So here there is no need to multicast it. It will be just a waste of our network traffic. Okay, so this is working. We hit Q again and we have this beautiful running animation from Mocap Online. And the beauty of this running animation from Mocap Online is that we could actually start using the IK properly. So let's do that as well. And when you go to the new stuff, you see here that because of reasons we had to set additive alpha to 0, but we can go here, and once we change here to start the packets, okay, here. So when we go to Mocap Basic, as long as we are in Mocap Basic, we can set alpha to 1. However, when we are back here, we need to again set this alpha to 0. And this is important because this is driving, for example, the foot IK, and it is responsible for foot locking when you are in aim offset. So what it does, I will show you in a moment. Let's do it single player on big screen, but it will work multiplayer obviously. Okay, F11. So I hit Q, I have this, and because I am aiming, my feet are not moving at all. I have this nice aim offset, but when I hit Q again, now I am looking, so my hands are just falling down, they are not following the spine, they're being corrected, but I am actually moving my pelvis, and as I am moving my pelvis, my legs need correction. So when I walk sideways, now you see I am actually running sideways, perfectly sideways, as I should, as the base animation before running any IK wanted to work. However, if I go here and I change this to 0, when I am running sideways, the IK for the aim offset will twist my pelvis a bit, and you will see I'm actually running at 15 degrees angle, which is the maximum aim offset I set up for the pelvis, and that doesn't look that good. And when I'm in idle and I am looking around, you can see that my legs are actually moving. If we stand next to something that shows the foot location, okay, so you see, and the feet are actually, oh, you can see it here, they are moving. And now we will do 1, and you can see the feet are locked, the knees are being corrected properly, so they're bending like they should, the pelvis is moving, the entire character is moving, and the entire aim offset is working a lot better thanks to that, and it's more realistic. And also our directional moving is a lot better thanks to that. Okay, so this is the basic setup of the 3 animations, and this is what I am shipping with the next download. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully someone measured the time of the setup of this iron sight. It's really fast, and it didn't require anything to be running on the graph itself, just the setup of the animations, and it looks okay. And we done some multiplayer stuff regarding the movement speed and how to properly replicate events on character movement component. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.